That concludes round number 1.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy in Miami, Florida. Guys, good morning, happy Tuesday. Let's get into it real quick, guys. I'm not going to beat up around the bush today, man. I got a lot of stuff to do, all right? But anyway, 140-pound division has been turned on its head, as you all know. So many things have happened in these last few weeks. News about Ryan Garcia, news about Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez fighting a nobody, Subriel Matias lost his title, Paro is now a champion. So what's going to happen to the 140-pound division? Who's the top dog? Is it still the division, the top division of all boxing right now with everything that's going on? And we're going to discuss that today, right? We're going to go over the 140-pound rankings according to Ring Magazine. And according to Ring Magazine, we have the champion Teofimo Lopez, right? Ranked number one. Then as a champion, ranked number 1. Following him is Devin Haney, WBC champion. And we all know what's going on with Devin Haney. And he has been stripped of his WBC title. I believe he requested to be placed as a champion in recess. I don't know what that means. Maybe a champion taking vacation. A champion doesn't want to fight anyone. A champion needs a break. A champion that needs, or a former champion that needs to get his shit squared away. There's a lot of stuff happening with Devin Haney. He's not behaving like a champion. He's behaving like a little schoolgirl. Like a butthurt schoolgirl, all right? Hey, man, you cannot delete the footage. Let's say you can delete all the footage regarding your fight against Ryan Garcia, the ass whooping you got, all right? Let's suppose you can do that. People still remember what happened. You got an ass whooping. Just admit it as a man. Stop requesting all these things that he is actually doing. He's wants to sue Ryan Garcia. He wants to remain. He wants to do everything. He's like a spoiled brat, and you can tell when somebody has been raised as a spoiled brat. That's what Devin Haney is. It's a spoiled brat who has been exposed by a fighter that, although was in drugs, it was using performance-enhancing drugs. That does not take away the fact that Haney had no plan to avoid that lead hook, which he knew was coming. Tank knew was coming the whole time, and Devin Haney was not able to adjust to a lead hook that was on target all night. All right, so Devin Haney's out. The champion Teofimo Lopez, who's had, mental issues or emotional issues, however you want to call it, now is fighting a C-level opponent in Claggett this next weekend here in Miami, Florida. All right, I'm not gonna go see that fight. It's all, it's totally a card where it's mismatches all along the whole card. One guy's a super favorite, and the other guy is, is practically unknown. So that card is. I'm not going to assist to that card. I'd rather see the Bam Rodriguez and the Gallo Estrada fight on TV. I'm not going to waste my money on that, guys. But can you imagine if Teofimo Lopez loses to Claggett? How crazy the 140-pound division would be. Anyway, number 2 is Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, who's been looking not good at all. Guys, I don't know how the Ring Magazine has this guy ranked number 2. He's got 2 defeats, 21 fights, 1 defeat, apparently. Only 1 defeat, but he hasn't been looking good, guys. Okay, let's see. Number 3 is Paro, who just beat Subriel Matias a couple of weeks ago. And Paro, what his goals are or what his plans are, we don't know. He recently fought Subriel Matias. There's no rematch clause. Apparently somebody dropped the ball I really don't understand, and if somebody wants to, please explain this to me, but I never heard anybody saying that Liam Paro was a mandatory fight. Liam Paro was a mandatory challenger for Subriel Matias by the IBF. Never heard of that. First news was what Eddie Hearn said. Oh, there's no rematch because he was the mandatory. What? I thought it was a pick'em fight for Subriel Matias. He just had the mandatory with Ergashev. So somebody dropped the ball. There's no rematch clause. So Liam Paro and Eddie Hearn continue with their plans. They're going to be promoting him in Australia, fighting somebody in Australia. I don't know, maybe he'll fight Jack Catterall, who's number 4, right? Jack Catterall's number 4. He just beat Josh Taylor. So there's a possibility of having Liam Paro versus Jack Catterall coming up. That would be a fight that, would be interesting. See where Liam Paro ranks, if actually Liam Paro is all that his Australian fans think he is, or was this just an off night, a really bad night by Subriel Matias? And I tend to think it was the latter. All right, I think Liam Paro, showed good skills, but at the same time, Subriel Matias, and don't tell me Liam Paro did something special to keep Matias, to actually have Matias become as ineffective as he did. He didn't throw punches. He didn't cut off the ring. He was tired. That's not Liam Paro's fault. That's not Liam Paro's ability that actually had Subriel Matias become so ineffective and look actually like a mediocre fighter that night. All right. Liam Paro was hurt a couple of times when Subriel Matias stepped on the gas, but then he let off the gas and let him slide. And I don't know what happened. That was not the Subriel Matias that we were expecting that night. And I already discussed this on my previous episode, what Subriel Matias should do, what I think he should do, and that is something we're gonna continue discussing. But right now, Jack Catterall and Liam Paro looks like a good fight coming up this year. And then we have number 5, Alberto Puello, who's been elevated to WBC champion. All right, since Devin Haney's out, he's been stripped, or is a champion in recess, whatever you want to call that. Alberto Puello is now the champion. So Alberto Puello has opportunities here. He could fight any of the other guys right now. Maybe try to unify against Pitbull Cruz, or maybe try to fight the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Claggett. I think that now that Subriel Matias is out of the picture, there's going to be more fights between some of these guys. And they've been trying to get Subriel Matias out of the picture for a long time. And you can tell me anything you want. And after the fact, now everybody's saying that Subriel Matias is a hype job, all of this other stuff. But the truth of the matter is, they didn't want to fight him then, and they don't want to fight him now either. None of these guys wants to fight Subriel Matias, even now after he lost. So what does that tell you? Does that tell you that Subriel Matias is an easy fighter? Does that tell you that Subriel Matias is a hype job? No. They know he's not. They're just talking, smack and trying to, to get other fights, because Subriel Matias, in all honesty, is high risk, low reward. They don't want to take a chance with Subriel Matias. So Subriel Matias shot himself in the foot, and we all know what happened. And I wish him the best, guys, but he's got to get his act squared away, listen to his corner, get serious about training, get some of these friends, these influences he has, just say goodbye to those guys. They'll turn their back on you in a minute once you don't become the champion, not become the famous person you are. These are leeches that actually cling to fighters, and it's always been that way. all these leeches that suck the blood and suck the blood of of the champions or celebrities. They just want to be around them, and they just want to take from you. And as soon as you fall, they turn their backs and they run, and they start talking behind your back, and then they get book deals and all kinds of shit, and interviews, and talk, crap about you. So these are people you can't trust. You can't trust these people around you who actually are affecting your livelihood. You got to get rid of those. So that is my opinion. That's what I think some of these champions should do. Forget about the posse, forget about all this gold, buying gold and buying, like Berlanga is doing right now. I mean, that's uncalled for. You're not a superstar. You have to earn your way to that level, all right? Beating real opponents. And I'm talking about Berlanga. Okay, so number 6 is Subriel Matias, and we already spoke about him. What is he going to do? It's a tough road for Subriel Matias. It's a tough road back to number 1, back to his championship. I don't know if he'll be able to make it. If I were him, I would stay active as much as possible. That's the only way he's going to get a shot. I don't think any of these guys are going to give him a shot now. None of these guys. Forget about it. He's not a champion anymore. He had a little bit of leverage there with his IBF championship belt, and the pressure was on these other guys. Now the pressure is off. Now they're happy. Now they're all happy because, Subriel Matias is out of the way. All the plans are coming into fruition. Maybe Eddie Hearn is happy too that he got Subriel Matias out of the way because he can make more money with Liam Paro most likely. And that's just business, the way this sport has been working for the last, 70 years, 80 years. It's all about business. It's all about making money. It's all about exploiting your fighters and, turn your back on the champion and take the next guy who came in. I remember, I think it was the Foreman. What was it? It was the Foreman-Fraser fight. Foreman versus Fraser, the first one. Don King came in the ring with Joe Fraser, who was the champion. You know who Don King walked out of the ring with? George Foreman. Just like Eddie Hearn did. Right, a few weeks ago in Puerto Rico, walked in with Subriel, walked out with Liam Paro. And these guys are leeches, guys. These guys are blood-sucking leeches. They don't care about you, really. All they care about is the money. So you got to take care of yourself, and you got to make sure that your contract is fair and that your contract, you're not getting screwed over, even by your manager or promoter. I think his manager and his promoter dropped the ball on this one. All right. So we've discussed this a lot of times for a few weeks already after Subriel Matias lost. But I really think that Subriel Matias should get back on the saddle again, to be as active as he can be, and start fighting whoever wants to fight. All right. And that's the job of his promoter. Now, number 7, Josh Taylor. And it's curious that I'm looking at this Ring Magazine ranking of 140 pounds, and Pitbull Cruz is nowhere in the top 10. Nowhere in the top 10. I wonder why. Right, Josh Taylor is number 7. He just lost against Jack Catterall, so there might be a rematch there, so a trilogy. That's something that the British would like to see. I wouldn't really care about that fight. Then we have Regis Prograis, number 8. Regis Prograis and Matias were talking to each other, a possibility of them trying to set up a fight for the end of this year, but that's out of the possibility right now due to the fact that Subriel Matias lost his title. So Regis Prograis, I don't know which way he's going to go, but maybe fight some of these other guys. I don't know. Stay busy. Richardson Hitchens had mandatory. Had the title eliminator. He got scared after fighting. Who was it? The Argentinian fighter. What was it? Lemus. Yeah. Gustavo Lemos. After fighting Gustavo Lemos, I think he lost that fight. Everybody thought he lost that fight. He declined to fight Subriel Matias. So anyway, that wouldn't have mattered because Subriel Matias lost against Liam Paro. So that means that Richardson Hitchens still the mandatory for the IBF. So what I think should happen next, according to the IBF, Richardson Hitchens should fight newly crowned Liam Paro. All right. And we'll see how good Liam Paro is after fighting Richardson Hitchens, who has ability, who is a technical fighter, who is, very similar style to Devin Haney. So let's see how Liam Paro does against somebody like that. Liam Paro might just be a one-hit wonder, just like George Kambosos was when he defeated Teofimo Lopez. So that could be a possibility. And then we have Antoine Russel, who just lost against Puello. So I know that there is a request from Antoine Russell's team to the WBC to fight Albert Puello, but I think Puello has now a mandatory, and I forgot to mention this, Albert Puello has a mandatory fight Sandor Martin next. Is that correct? Let me see. Is that correct? So the mandatory, yep, the mandatory for Puello is, as a champion now, is going to be fight Sandor Martin. Once Sandor Martin fight is over, then Antoine Russell will be fighting the winner of that fight. So that leaves Matías out of the picture. Out of those top 10 guys, out of the top 9 guys that I spoke about, Matías has very small possibility of fighting any of these guys. So what's next for Subriel Matías? What's next for the 140-pound division? It's on his head. We don't know what's going to happen this year. Maybe we'll have a new batch of champions after this year. Imagine if Claggett upsets Teofimo Lopez, and Sandor Martin beats, newly crowned, the Subriel Matías that we've been watching since he began his career. Then I would have said, hey, he beat him fair and square. He's a better fighter, but he's not. That was not the Subriel Matías we saw that night, and that was not because of Liam Paro. Anything that Liam Paro did that prevented Matías to throw his usual 100 punches per round, 80 to 100 punches per round, cutting up the ring, getting tired. So something happened, and I'm not saying that he went out partying the night before, because if that was a fact, we would have already seen videos. Man, all those guys that were in the club, all the girls that were in the club, they would have been taking videos of, and posting them on Instagram or on Facebook or one of these social media platforms of Subriel Matias partying, and that hasn't surfaced on any of the social media platforms. So I really don't think that is something he did. I just think he got distracted, like I said before in this channel. One of the reasons why I believe that the only way that Subriel Matias will lose he would lose concentration, if he would be distracted by the crowd, if he wanted to do too much, and the stress and everything. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Stress is a powerful thing, and when you're stressed out and you're nervous and all that, drains out all your energy. And I've seen that happen with some of my fighters who I've trained hard, who I know they've trained hard, and they have ran, and they have done the cardio work, and they've done the back work, and they've done the sparring and everything. Fight day comes, their family is there. Suddenly, boom, hits you like I don't know, like a hurricane. Sucks all your energy away, and then after 2 rounds, they're gassed out. So the mind is a powerful thing, and I've been saying that would have been one of the factors for Subriel Matias to lose this fight, and lo and behold, that happened. Anyway, guys, let me ask you what you think. what's going to happen next in the 140-pound division. We've seen all the crazy things happening with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is out for a whole year. So I'm not even going to talk about him and his prospects. He's not going to fight at 140 moving forward. They've also said that Subriel Matias should move up to 147. That's what Eddie Hearn wants. He wants to just kind of use him as a gatekeeper and get his 2-3 fights off of him and make some money off of Subriel Matias' name, and then kick him to the curb. That is my opinion. So all those who think he's such a great promoter, he takes care of his people, I really don't know about that, guys. These guys are all corrupt. These guys are all leeches. These guys suck the blood and livelihood of their fighters. So I don't trust any of them. Sorry, man, but I'm like that. Anyway, guys, please like, share, subscribe. We are almost at 2,000 subs. Let's get up there. Share this with your friends. Any comments that you want to send my way, you can do that, or you can email me directly if you have any suggestions for upcoming episodes. But until next time, this is Coach Mario saying hasta la vista. God bless you all, and peace.